What's up everyone, welcome back to another what if video. It's been a little bit since the last part, so here's a recap. Last time, we covered what everyone's summer training was like, and how it was interrupted when villains attacked. Amongst the students, some disagreements occurred as well, notably between Gohan and Ida. But ultimately, it led them to deciding that they're going to go and save Bakugo, which is where we left off last time. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes, and once we hit it, I'll continue this series with another part. Anyways, let's pick up from here. After all that's happened, Goku can't help but feeling bad about what's happening at Yuuei. He knows Gohan and friends can handle themselves, but he can't deny he is a little concerned. He hopes that they're not going to do anything too rash. He doesn't want any of them getting hurt by trying to be heroic or whatever. He knows their hearts are in the right place, but he's worried that the students will put themselves in danger, especially for Gohan. Little does he know though, Gohan and some friends are about to try and save Bakugo. Without Goku even knowing, his fears are about to be realized. The plan is set in motion. Using Momo's tracker, they head into the city, getting some disguises first. I honestly wasn't really too sure what to put for Gohan's disguise, so I just did a mix of his Dragon Ball Super design and a little bit of his Saiyan design. It does the job and it looks just as goofy as everyone else's disguise. So it works, and like normal, the group begins tracking the hideout, while the heroes prepare to do the same. The kids actually arrive first, planning to do some surveillance. They pull out a pair of night vision binoculars and look inside the building, and what they see is equally disgusting and terrifying. Nomus. Everywhere there's Nomus. And inside the base they also see someone. A man who appears to be wearing a suit and a cape. They can't really make out who it is because of the night vision and how his face is obscured, but they see his hands, claws, and some of them recognize that from the night of the attack. The guy who was able to stretch his arms and somehow attack from the shadows. That's gotta be him. They remember the claws. Judging by his suit, he must be someone important. They continue looking around, and then they're suddenly interrupted once the pro heroes intervene, unexpectedly. Pro heroes all bust into the base, ready to fight the villains and save Bakugo. A bunch of top heroes are there, even Goku. As I mentioned in the first part, Goku doesn't normally operate at night. The full moon will cause him to transform, and it turns out there's actually a full moon right now. The thing is, Goku realizes this, but Gohan didn't account for that. If Gohan were exposed to the full moon, he would unwillingly transform, and this may cause some issues later. Thankfully he at least has sunglasses right now, but if they fall off in the heat of the battle and he somehow looks up into the sky, that'll be a huge issue. Fun fact, chapter 95 actually shows that the moon was a waning crescent the next day, so it wouldn't have been a full moon here. Yeah, I actually looked through the chapters to make sure that there was actually a full moon and there wasn't. But it's a minor change and we're going to take some creative liberties here. So let's pretend the moon's a full moon. The heroes are making some great progress, and it seems they should be able to take out the villains. But then, an unexpected new foe arrives. Someone that All Might knows all too well. Another man in a suit. Wow, there's a lot of guys that are really nicely dressed here. And this guy obviously seems like he's the big boss around here. It's none other than All For One. Pretty much the mastermind. He's revealed and he begins doing what he's best at, destroying stuff. And all the while, the kids are still there watching everything as it goes down, thinking of a way to save Bakugo and somehow help everyone. But this All For One guy is terrifying. It's almost as if they're frozen with fear. They try and discuss something, and ultimately, they come up with a similar plan to the one that they had in the original story. They're gonna essentially slingshot themselves across the area, and in midair, they'll be able to grab Bakugo and save him. This time, Gohan's there as well, and he's able to help launch him in the air. He has some pretty powerful jumps after all, and he can propel everyone. So they're gonna get an extra boost. They ready themselves, and then launch above the wall, hoping to gain Bakugo's attention. Bakugo sees them and knows exactly what to do. He jumps up and tries to grab onto one of them. But midair, the unexpected happens. Gohan's glasses fall off. He catches them, but out of the corner of his eye, he catches the moon. Oh no. How could he screw up this bad? He always knows when the moon is full. It's a precaution he has to take just to live normally. It's the same reason he brought the sunglasses in the first place. But he didn't account for them falling off during this. With Gohan frozen up being mid-transformation, he's not propelling the group, and he's only weighing them down. Bakugo tries to help by propelling the group. They don't know what's going on, but then they realize the full moon is out, and that means he's going to transform. And if that's not bad enough, back down on the ground, the enemies try to interrupt the rescue. A couple villains team up trying to grab Bakugo, but thankfully, help arrives in the form of Goku. Those kids, of course he had to bail them out. He also sees that Gohan's there, and he could tell just from the way Gohan looks, he's about to transform. He thinks within a split second. He yells to the other kids telling them to cover Gohan's eyes. And by yelling, that makes his position known to the enemies. Perfect, just as he wanted. He warned the kids who now cover up Gohan's eyes, and now the villains are focused on him. But is it too late? The moon's already taking its effect on Gohan, and in midair it's hard for them to block his eyes out. Goku knows what he has to do, both as a distraction to help them escape and to help Gohan. He takes off his own visor, looking directly at the moon. The whole area is destroyed already, so it's fine if he transforms. Normally he wouldn't even be out at night because of this, but he might as well use this ability to his advantage. While Gohan's transformation is stalled, Goku looks directly at the moon and begins transforming himself. He grows larger, casting a shadow on everyone, also putting Gohan back to his normal state before he could fully transform. He snaps back to consciousness, and as he realizes what's going on, he apologizes. He should have secured the glasses better, or thought of that in the first place. As Goku's transforming, some of the villains try to launch an attack, attempting to reach the kids. It's only been a few seconds at this point, they're almost at safety. But as the villains launch themselves, they're caught by Goku, acting as a massive shield. Gohan apologizes to his father, kinda quietly, he's not gonna yell that across the area. In a deep voice, Goku tells the kids to get out of there, as he and Mount Lady shield everyone. Two giant fighters, and it seems that Goku's under control right now. He was a little bit worried about using this form, but it seems okay. Gohan's glasses are back on, and he's blinded now. This is all over the course of about 10 to 20 seconds. Everyone had to think on their toes, and just as they're all about to make it to safety, one villain yells out to them, reaching into the sky and extending his arms. But Goku quickly blocks it, and then he looks down to see who the enemy is. Something about him is oddly familiar, but he knows he hasn't seen this guy before. But then it all becomes clear. The man steps out into the open, a green man wearing a purple suit and a cape. His attire clearly shows that he has a high status, possibly a boss of the Yakuza. All for One fights All Might, continuing to destroy the area more and more, with Goku, Mount Lady, and a few other heroes around the area. But this one villain seemed to make it through the cracks. He's nimble enough to outpace Goku and Mount Lady, but it seems that the kids have already made their escape long ago. Goku interfered with his plans, so now he has to make him pay for it. He throws his cape off, revealing his suit in its entirety and the fact that he's brandishing a katana. This villain is named Piccolo. His full name's unknown, he's just known as Piccolo. His quirk is what he refers to as Slugman, one inherited from his father. Using this quirk, he's able to stretch his limbs and regenerate injuries. It's also the reason he has some slug features like the antennas and he has the green skin. However, some larger injuries take longer to regenerate, if at all, and they'll leave a scar, hence the scar on his head. We'll get more into that later. Goku immediately recognizes who this guy is now. He looks very similar to a Yakuza boss that Goku apprehended before, one who went by the name Piccolo. Is this his son? His successor in some way? Either way, Goku knows he's bad news. The old Piccolo was very cunning and a powerful threat, but as more and more heroes come out of the woodworks, Piccolo decides it's time to bail. He may be powerful, but there's too many heroes here, and a lot of the other villains already left or were apprehended. He's not gonna risk it. Thankfully, he could outpace the giant heroes right there, and as long as he avoids someone like Endeavor, he's fine. Those lower ranking heroes won't really be an issue to him. But then, Roshi appears, having been alongside Gran Torino this whole time. He knows all too well about the old Piccolo. He actually helped Goku apprehend him a while back. Thankfully, he doesn't need to be close to Piccolo to catch him. Although he normally wouldn't be allowed to use this technique on people, given the circumstances he's allowed to here. And Roshi uses his Mafuba. As Piccolo escaped, he's suddenly caught in a wave and contained by Roshi. Of course, while all this goes down, All Might and AFO continue their fight. All Might is reaching his limit, but he summons all of his power to have one last clash with All for One. This clash is incredibly strong, with everyone turning their heads to watch. It's so powerful, in fact, that it knocks Piccolo's container away and breaks it open, with Roshi not even noticing until it's too late. With every hero and everyone else in the area distracted by the clash, Roshi turns back and tries to apprehend Piccolo again, or at least any other villains that are escaping. But he's a little tired out now from doing the technique. Remember when we discussed his powers earlier, we mentioned that when he contains a person, it takes a lot more of his stamina. The heavier the object, the more the strain. This is perfect for Piccolo. Quickly, he stretches his arm, grabbing onto a rooftop. It seems he's actually going to escape. He can't stick with the League anymore. They were so sloppy here, and there's too many eyes on them now. And with someone in a position like Piccolo's, he can't have all those eyes watching him. So, it looks like he's gonna go rogue. Anywho, the rest of this fight continues like normal. All Might wins, but at what cost? The aftermath pretty much remains the same, with the exception of Gohan being here, which he wasn't before. After this fight happens, he returns home to see his family. Goku, Chi-Chi, and even Goten knew where Gohan was. I mean, if they didn't know from the news, they would have known from Goku. By the way, Chi-Chi and Goten will come up soon in some upcoming parts, but they're not the focus here right now. With Gohan now home, Goku's gonna talk to him. It was really reckless what he did, and it's the second time that Gohan's done something like this. Goku knows that Gohan's heart is in the right place, but he is a bit disappointed. Concerned even. Gohan and his friends could have easily died there. They could have been kidnapped or something. What if the heroes didn't show up? What then? Or even worse, if Gohan lost his glasses and turned into a great ape without Goku there to help. That was a dumb mistake that he should have accounted for. But even though Goku's giving him some tough love, he tells Gohan that he's still proud of him. He can't deny it was pretty brave what he did, and they actually did help save Bakugo. He doesn't know what to do about all those kids at Yuuei though. They just go around using their powers however they want. But Goku kinda laughs it off. He guesses after all, that's what a true hero is supposed to do. He makes it clear, he just doesn't want to see Gohan getting hurt. And he really wants him to not do stuff like this in the future. Especially because now they saw that guy earlier that they assume is Piccolo's son. They're not too sure, but it seems pretty obvious. But that's besides the point. With people like that running around, Gohan needs to be a lot more careful. Same with his friends. And Goku's pretty sure that Endeavor's talking to his son about this too, and All Might's talking to his son, I mean Deku. Same with pretty much anyone else's parents. This will come into play later on, as Goku now has to deal with Gohan being so proactive. It's both good and bad. Also, with All Might out of commission, I guess that means Goku's gonna be the number 2 hero pretty soon. Not officially right now, but sooner on. Especially with how well he was able to control his grade 8 form during the night. That's what was holding him back before. Maybe he has a shot at number 1. But that's not important to him right now. All that's important is that Gohan is safe. So, who is Piccolo? If you couldn't guess already, he's the son of another guy named Piccolo, one who is referred to as the Demon King in the underground crime scene. He was a Yakuza boss, but long ago he was captured, now in jail. In his place is his son, Piccolo Jr., who just goes by Piccolo now. He's a somewhat rogue villain. Sure, he has ties with a league of villains, but really his main focus is the Yakuza. He doesn't necessarily share the same ideals as the League of Villains, but he teamed up with them for his own interest in power. Much like Dragon Ball Piccolo, he's pursuing power but in a very different way. He wants to gain influence and wealth. Using his quirk, his physical strength, and even weapons like blades, he's also a formidable fighter. A rich, influential, and powerful villain. An underground criminal in the shadows. He was destined to be this way. Ever since he was a kid, he was compared to his father. He grew up pretty much alone. Everyone knew who his father was, and they instantly wrote him off as also being a villain. In a way, society molded him into being a criminal, because eventually he did decide to follow his father's footsteps. Piccolo right now actually isn't much older than Gohan, probably in his early 20s. His father was captured while he was a kid by Uzaru, aka Goku, who was pretty new at the time, also with some help from his master Roshi. He plans on furthering his crime syndicate. For his design, I chose the suit because it shows off his prestigious lifestyle, a man of luxury and wealth. And as for the cape, he wraps it around him to conceal his identity and also to intimidate, and it also helps conceal weapons. But whenever he fights, he takes the cape off. You see the inspiration? The scar on his head comes from an injury he suffered a while ago, and further serves as a symbol of his power. That scar was given to him by a person who opposed him, someone who tried to kill him. But Piccolo came back stronger than ever. We'll get more into Piccolo in the next part, as well as everything following this arc. Let's leave off here for now. So what did you guys think about this part? What do you think of Piccolo? What do you think will happen with Gohan and Goku in the future, as well as all of Gohan's friends? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.